Oh no.
Hello. Start this gangsta show. Mr. Mother, thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangsta show.
Believe it or not, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Good morning to all of you. Welcome. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran in the comic book industry. All you guys wanted was a 22-year veteran of the comic book industry, but I came in and said, I'm a 25-year veteran. Will I do? And you guys said, hell yeah. So here I am, joining you for another video. Oh, by the way, Cyberfrog, I'm the creator of Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog Blood Honey is in its last 4 days of crowdfunding. If you have not yet pre-ordered your copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, and you mean to, and you intend to, you better do that soon. Link is in the description below. So, what happened here? What happened? So, Zach, Diversity in Comics, friend of mine, sent me a message. He would have called me if this was the 90s. I would have been on the phone with Zach. I would have had a conversation with him. But it's not the 90s. Nobody uses the telephone anymore. You just get little messages, little PMs or DMs or emails from people saying cryptic things. And he said, hey, I'm going on TV. I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. And I said, you are? He said, yeah, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to go on TV. And I said, oh, what is it? And he showed me this correspondence between him and somebody named Jeffries making plans to go on TV. I said, who's Jeffries? Is that the secretary or somebody who's hooking up the... No, Jim Jeffries, he says. He is a comedian. He's a comedian. He's got his own show on Comedy Central. I said, well, it goes to show what I know. I don't watch Comedy Central. I watch YouTube. And that's about it. TV is dying. So look at this. So anyway, he gets what was it, Friday, Saturday, I get another nice message from Diversity Comics after he spent 10 minutes running around San Diego Comic-Con, the hall, and filming, doing a live stream. It's very quick. I didn't watch it. Your Aunt Andrea, my wife, watched it, and she kind of said it was frenetic. He was running around for 10 minutes in the entire hall, and the hall was empty. And I said, oh, that's weird. Like, San Diego Comic-Con is a big deal. I mean, it's a big event. You really have to muscle your way through the crowds just to get from one end of the hall to another, just to get anywhere, just to get inside. I mean, it's really kind of usually a tense situation. Not this time. So Zach sent me a message and said, I just got out of my interview. I said, oh, how was it? And he said, it was a total hatchet job. And he said it like he was surprised. Well, how do I know if he said it? It was a message. I don't know. I infer his tone. A total hatchet job. I mean, like, that is, you needed to say that to me? Of course it is. What kind of programming do you think exists on Comedy Central that is going to be sympathetic to our moderate centrist right-wing perspective, perhaps? Slightly right. No, of course not. Of course it's going to be a hatchet job. This gentleman with his raised eyebrow and smirk, where have we seen that before? Oh, don't make me show you the soy boy drawing again. Don't make me show you again. You remember it. You see that and you just run. That's a smart aleck right there. That is a soy-based smart aleck. Anyway, so I watched the interview. It came out today. Zach got memed. Of course he did. I mean, this is what these guys do. You give a bunch of SJWs on TV the chance to have final edit over your comments, your conversation. They're going to shape it and mold it into something that's funny, that makes you look like a total fool. And that is what they did to Zach. And he said, I can't bear to watch it. How is it? I said, I laughed. I thought it was really funny. The way and it is funny. It is funny. Zach, this is now going to be a permanent meme right here. Yeah, it was a bad idea. They confront Zach with some of his own words from something called the Dark Roast, in which Zach, I don't know why, I remember him telling me he was going to do this too. He said, I'm going to do something where I'm really going to let loose. I'm going to say whatever I want to say that I don't normally say. It's going to be a subscriber-based only thing. So it's going to be like Diversity in Comics, but it's going to be extra intense. And I remember going, okay, yeah, right. And then of course, he does this dark roast and he starts calling people names. I mean, really like over the top. So of course they confronted him with some of the things he said in the dark roast, and they said, "Did you call this woman an extremely bad word?" And this was his response: "Yeah, it was a bad idea," with a smile on his face. Now, yeah, it was a bad idea with the other part of this, Zach. I know that like you don't like to take advice from other guys. You just don't like it. That's fine. Please just listen. Don't go to Supercuts. You're an adult. You're making money. Supercuts is basically for people who are like, look, my head is basically a woolly dog, and it just needs to be sheared once a year so I can go look for work. Or it's for kids, or it's for moms with a lot of kids, hardly any money. You bring your kids in there, they shear their heads. It doesn't matter, they're children, so it doesn't really matter what they look like. Supercuts is not for adult men, unless you can afford. Look, Zach, go to a nice barber. Look up a good barber shop. I go to one in Morristown called Rosieri. They've got something inside called Franco's Barber Shop. These are skilled. These guys know how to cut hair, and they'll give you the whole like shave treatment. They'll trim your beard. They'll do beard detail. They really do a great job. They put all kinds of weird stuff on your face that tingles. I don't know what it is, but by the end of it, I'm like, hey, this is great. I feel much better. I look great. They do a good job. They know how to cut hair. And with somebody like me with my hair, you have to be careful. Each hair is so valuable. It's so important. I come out of a Supercuts looking like Homer Simpson if I'm not careful. I need somebody who knows what they're doing, who can work with what I have, which isn't much. They stabbed Zach's neck. He took a picture of the back of his neck. He was bleeding. The blood was gushing out from this haircut. He's like, well, at least I didn't have to pay the $6. This dude raised $350,000 on his comic book. Zach, go get your hair cut, especially somewhere good, before you go on TV. For God's sake. For God's sake. Anyway, so it was a bad idea. They're going to cut this out, and this is going to be a meme forever, and it is funny, and he deserves it. That is awesome. So I laughed at this whole thing. Now, at the same time, if you watch this piece, it's just it's incredibly disingenuous. This is just more SJWs. This guy's at San Diego Comic-Con. I did a video about San Diego Comic-Con. It's dying. I mean, it's literally dying. It's going downhill. Marvel Comics couldn't afford to be there this year. Marvel Comics, HBO decided that it wasn't worth it to go. HBO, Netflix decided it wasn't worth it to go. Star Wars, no presence there. And these are people who usually spend hundreds of thousands of dollars buying enormous con space, booths, graphics, all of this stuff, because San Diego Comic-Con is pivotal. It's so important. It's what you have to do at the middle of every year. And they didn't show up. Why? They couldn't afford it anymore. Comics is dying. San Diego Comic-Con is also dying. So this guy walks around with a microphone and he talks to some disaffected comic book fans and says, do you like comics? And they're saying, no, I don't. It's diversity. Ever since the diversity crept in, I stopped buying. One of them says, look, Superman's gay, Aquaman's transgender. None of these things are true, but I think it's, to make a point. Another one just kind of says, look, I'm tired of people telling me who they are. And I'm tired of hearing about their identity politics. Tired of it. And yeah, they were all white males. Of course, that's to make the point. White males suck. Well, look, my dude, comics are dying. You're talking to people who are no longer buying comics, and they're telling you why. And now he goes ahead and he assembles 5, he calls them social justice warriors, the Social Justice Warrior League. I can't remember. Watch the video and you figure it out. These are nice people. And they basically talk about how they're really happy because comic books, you made Iron Man into a little black teenage girl. That's great because now they look like me. That didn't solve the problem. It just seems to me like that just exchanged one bit of identity politics for the next. I'm not sure why. That is good. He says it's good because people of color and people who are underserved by the, what's the word? Marginalized. I like the word margarine in there. Marginalized. Yeah. Anyway, marginalized people, they need to be represented in comics. Well, that's fine. Comics are dying. They're not selling anymore. They're not selling. So it's not working. Something's not working. The idea of making people who have been underrepresented in comics more represented in comics sounds like a fine idea. It's not working. Comics are not selling. These comics are now selling beneath 10,000 copies when not too long ago, and we're talking 10 years ago, they were selling over 100,000 copies. This is no longer a business that can sustain working families. You know what I mean? You can't. These people who work in comics can no longer feed themselves, and so because of that, they're moving away from comics. And talent that is coming in, cheaper talent, people that'll work for less, people without the hearts, the souls of geniuses, like we've seen in the past. These people can't afford to work in comics anymore, so we're getting what's left, and then comics will subsequently continue their downward slide. But by all means, bring on diversity in comics. Where's he from? Nebraska. Just bring on some Midwestern dude and call him a Nazi, essentially call him racist, make him look like a fool with editing. Et cetera, et cetera. Confront him with his own words. Silence him, even though he's got 82,000 subscribers. That'll fix everything. Now, our detractors, these SJWs, are still coming at Comicsgate, and we represent Comicsgate. We're just saying, look, this SJW thing isn't working. It just isn't working. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The comics apparently are not selling. So we'll offer you something else and see what happens. And not only that, while we're offering it to you, we ain't going to call you no Nazi. We're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to further point at you and ridicule you because you are white and a male. We're just going to offer you a comic book. Hopefully you'll find it amusing. Hopefully you'll find it entertaining. We will ask every one of these people for their business, and we will ask all of the people that you insulted for their business as well. Everyone. We want everyone on board. SJWs are skeptical of this, and they're just like, well, that's what Comicsgate is. Comicsgate is just some angry dudes who want to make as much money as they can off of their comics before people's hate of SJWs fade and their audience catches on. Okay, well, thank you for admitting that people hate SJWs. They do. They severely dislike SJWs. Most normal people do. They have quietly left comics because comics have been invaded by SJWs, and they are coming over to us. Many of them are. I'm offering a $25 signed, autographed, double-sized comic book with a chromium cover, and it is selling as well as a Batman trade paperback does. It is, I think it's right now in terms of sales, is it the number 3 or is it number 2 at this point? It's only being outsold by a Batman comic in the trade paperback market. And that's what I get. That's what I get for what we're doing. The end goal of Comicsgate is to sell comics. It's to sell comics. It's not to moralize. It's not to change the world. You know what I mean? It's not to make people feel warm in their hearts. It's simply just to entertain people and sell comics. The end goal of SJW Comics seems to be to not sell comics, but to smirk. To get to smirk while you're doing it. Congratulations. Enjoy your smirk. We are going to continue to enjoy selling comic books and see what we can do. All of these people, we would like you to buy our comic books as well. You too, buy Cyberfrog, by all means. Congratulations on making Diversity in Comics look like a fool. He's done that himself quite a few times. He didn't need help. But it doesn't change the fact that your movement is dying and ours is growing. It's doing pretty good. Cyberfrog is now up to $557,000. And with 4 days to go, the sky's the limit. Anyway, I want to thank everyone who has supported Comicsgate, everyone who has supported Cyberfrog, everyone who has been supportive of this channel. I do want to thank you guys. I want to ask you guys to subscribe, to ring the bell for notifications, Is that what you do? You subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, click thumbs up on this video if you like it, and also go watch this video. I mean, it's an interesting point of view. Does representation matter in comics? Yeah, maybe it does. I don't know. To some people, it probably does. It's probably kind of neat. Having said that, does it sell comics? Nope. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're gonna look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over, devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist. But it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.